It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Near the level of where I am. And that's the way it should be. I don't expect her to be at that level. I don't expect Chris to be at that level. And then Pam, with the rebuttal, Justin, I agree with the employee of today, but I'm an old lady and still live by the idea that if you help someone grow their business, you will be rewarded. And we try to do that as best as we can. So, yeah, we try. I mean, I try.
Yeah,
Chris and Caleb both got nice little Christmas presents at the end of the year. You know, I mean, Aetna does not tip on their catering orders, and that's fine. Which I know makes those days a little bit rougher for the boys, you know, because it's a short day. It's a long day for them, but to not have those tips for the day, not that they count on tips for part of their salary, but you know, when you get used to them, and then all of a sudden you feel like you're missing out on $100 for the day type of thing. So I started compensating them for those days slightly. So they get little add-ons on their check for the days that they do Aetna days. So I'll make up for it. But I've always said the better that we do, the better that they will do.
I agree. I mean, the more they help out with promotion and things of that nature, the more they'll do.
I have thought about if we go, let's say we go away from tips and not accepting tips or something like that.
We talked about that for a second.
You know, and it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, we collected $24,000 in electronic tips last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big chunk of change for them, you know, like it's a significant amount of money. So, I mean, maybe we go from that to how can we incentivize them still to give their absolute all, in which it still helps the business. And maybe we go to a commission-based thing. You know, all right, you guys get a percentage now of each day that you work or the hours that you work. And, you know, what's 2% of your day? You know, it's not a ton, but you have to get yourself to a point where you're doing the sales to be able to justify that too, you know? So, I mean, we talked about our numbers last week, and basically overall, you and I cleared the same amount at the end of the day, you know?
Which is,
yeah, I mean, but my payroll is way higher than yours, and you know, some of the other things and that kind of thing. Like I can do that because we have the sales to justify it. So,
and I can go back through the events that my calendar and figure out what I paid people. I mean,
and you offer a 2% commission. What does that do to your bottom line sales number? You know.
Well, would you? Okay, if you did it that way, where tips weren't a thing, wouldn't you have to increase your prices at some point to cover basically because I've seen that on menus. Like I've seen restaurants do that on menus. Hey, please don't tip it. We pay our people a livable wage as it is.
But yeah, whatever. I think we are going to see the end, for the most part, of tip culture in America in the next couple of years. I don't think we need to raise our prices because I'm not going to raise pay It's like, oh, now we got to pay these people more type of thing because they're already way above where tipped wage is, way above it.
How, like way above it compared to what? Compared to what minimum wage is, or compared to
tipped minimum wage is $3.25 or $3.75.
No, okay. So let's talk about Caleb for a moment.
Okay.
So let's say he makes $13 an hour plus tips.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you take those tips away, like let's just say Michigan went to a no, you can't tip at all. Just get ready. What would you have? Would you do anything to his wage to make up for it? Or would you do anything for anybody's wages to make up for that lost income?
The snap reaction, the conservative business owner in me says no, because tips aren't guaranteed anyways.
You are accurate, yes.
I mean, who's to say that we go through a week where there's no tips anyways? Do I compensate them for those days or those weeks?
No.
Where there's so why is it different?
Okay. I get where you're coming from. Okay.
So there's that logical part of me. But this is not part of their pay structure, and they know it's not part of their pay structure. It's an added bonus to their pay, But then you go into, okay, so if we wanted to, what's the best way to do that? Because when people think there's a potential for getting tipped, they're friendlier, they're nicer, They're more conversational with the customers. So how do you compensate? How do you still get that out of them and make them not shut down and just be robot and try to get people through because it doesn't matter? So, which is where I'm at with commission. So if you do a commission type thing, then they still have that need to be able to be pleasant with the customer, be conversational with the customer, try to sell more to the customer. So, that option to go to a large instead of a small on the side becomes a little bit, more present, more consistent. Asking if they want a Coke with their food becomes a little bit more consistent because they're getting that 2% of the $2. So it's a win-win though, because as they're doing that more, your sales are also increasing. So does that 2% essentially pay for itself? If you're talking about economies of scale, and that's how we've set up our menu, that we're going to make less per item than, let's say, you, but we're going to sell more, and eventually the graph is we're going to get ahead of you on the graph.
You're selling based on volume.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we could sell our loaded mac and cheese for another $3 a piece. We're going to sell less of them. So at some point, so we're going to make more in the short term, but eventually, once we start selling more, it catches up. So, and for me, I would rather sell more and make less per item than sell less at higher.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna make whatever you need to make anyway.
Yeah, I would rather serve more people than less people.
For sure, I get that.
Chad says tips are a gift. I agree.
They are. So
Chris has finally gotten to the point where at least he's not outwardly annoyed when they get snubbed on tips, because I think of my reaction to his reaction.
Just internally annoyed.
Yeah, I think he's just internally annoyed. He's still though, when he checks sales, he'll still scroll down the screen a little bit to see where tips are. Yeah. Pam says beans and cornbread upsell every time. Absolutely. And then Chad says the best tip is a return customer. True thing. I think we might get one of these. I don't know what they're called. I've seen them on Facebook. They keep coming through. It's like a little black plastic placard thing that has for the Google reviews.
What's his name?
Excuse me.
Isaac uses one. It was in his review video.
Okay.
Yeah, he uses one. He gives one out every time, or he staples it to the bag or something like that.
Oh no, these are just, it sticks on your shelf, so it's like right next to your payment window.
So he had a bunch of them printed out, and he gives one out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I like that idea.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that.
So,
Are we actually going to talk goals for next year, or kind of
this
just
was
answer?
a great conversation. It was
It is a great conversation. I know, but we're going to get yelled at, 'cause,
Yeah, because I talk about goals. Anyway, I did talk about my goals. I have a hire a Chris by Q2.
Come on. Yep. Hire Chris by Q2. What are your sales goals for the year?
I want to increase our catering total by 20%.
What was it last year?
87K. So, if math serves me right, that's over. Hold on. Oh boy. Hold on. Mm-hmm. 105. 104 and a half.
Excellent.
We'll go 105. And then then for the sales goal for the year, 325.
That includes 105 for catering.
Yes.
So you're thinking 100 or 220 for everything else?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What was your non-catering sales for last year?
120 or 140 because it was 87. So 140.
Okay. So you needed 80.
I need 80
Another
for
80.
Assuming everything is the same. Yeah. We can get there.
Well, you said assuming everything stays the same, and then you're talking about, I don't even know if I want to run the truck out all that much anymore.
No, it'll be.
So don't roll your eyes at me.
Nah.
You're the one saying the stuff.
I know. Because I'm banking on doing bigger events. Yes, they have more fees, but I'm banking on doing bigger events. And so if I'm not out as much, I'm still going to have more money per less days. Let's put it that way.
Chad, to answer your question, it's just a little QR code that they can scan, and it goes directly to Google reviews. So it's just a little thing that has a QR code on it. It says, leave us a review.
And to answer,
Sorry?
I said, and to answer Chad, I don't. He knows what he asked. He texted me. Anyway.
We're not going to share with the rest of the class?
He asked why I had a dip in my mouth, and I definitely don't dip. It's just because my camera is on an angle.
He got stung by a bee. Or he's having a stroke.
Oh, I'm definitely having a stroke. So, yeah, and I think we can definitely get there. I think there's a lot of short-term goals that I want to do. Well, you look like you have a dip in your mouth. Damn, it kind of does, doesn't it? I'm looking at it right now.
Chad says getting ready for the Alabama family.
I am having a stroke. A little my episode of Bell's palsy.
Yeah.
I do have some short-term goals, like monthly, that are the main goal is to get this damn thing up and running, but I want to do, what did I say? It was 4. Sorry.
3. You had no 4s in your number.
So the goal for the cafe per month is $8,000 a month.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, here. I don't see any reason why you can't. I mean,
I think we'll do more, after probably 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm hoping that it doesn't take in the winter months. I hope that it's still going to be okay, especially with no lights in the parking lot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So are you budgeting then? I'm hoping you've done a budget.
Working on
it. Working on a budget.
I still have my inventory.
Yeah, I'm working on my budget numbers right now. But yeah, so you have not historically been a marketing guy, paid ads, boosted posts.
Which I may start if I keep getting paid by Facebook this week. I might just fucking roll.
So that's the only thing keeping you from it? Why don't you spend more money on Facebook ads?
I haven't seen a return on investment.
How are you quantifying that?
More sales in the areas that I go to. So if I market, like, let's say I go to Ann Arbor once a month,
mm-hmm.
and I run an ad.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Like every month that I'll be at this place in Ann Arbor, the sales don't change. Or don't change enough to warrant whatever I need to spend on an ad that day. Or that week or whatever.
Okay, so let's say you're going to a place and you want to do an ad. When are you doing that ad? Like, what is
2 weeks ahead of time.
Okay.
But I target that ad to that county plus any other county around it. So I'm trying to.
Are you doing county or city?
County.
Like, you need to go down to city. So go more granular. Go to city, not county.
Okay. Can try that. And
then do surrounding cities, not surrounding counties. Because you're going to get a 25-mile radius on whatever you put. So the way the Facebook will work is when it chooses people that aren't your followers to show the ad to,
mm-hmm.
It's going to designate and hit harder on that pinpoint. Okay?
Okay.
So if you're going to, let's say, Ann Arbor, and you just select Ann Arbor, it's going to hit that area harder than whatever the county is. So if you select the county that Ann Arbor's in, it's going to spread it all over the county. So you want your ad to hit more people that are closer to where your event is going to be, because those are the ones that are most likely to come. Right.
See, I was thinking that you want to be the county so it hits more people, period.
But you want to be able to hit the more people that are closer to your truck. So the more granular you can be on the location, the better. Okay. And then it spreads out from there. So the further away you get from that epicenter, just like a shockwave, the less people it's going to be more scattered, the people that see it.
I got you. Okay.
So there's your tip for Facebook ads, everybody. City, township, get as granular as you can. I don't think you can select like an address. Like you can't say University of Michigan Hopper building or whatever.
No.
I don't think you can get that granular, but yeah, we definitely go down to city, township even if you can, if you're not inside the city. Yeah, get as granular as you can on those. It'll help a lot. It'll target that ad even to that very specific area. So you're going to use a pistol instead of a shotgun with birdshot.
And that's what I was thinking, is I hit more people than
But if those people aren't likely going to come, it doesn't do any good if someone in Arizona sees your ad.
No, yeah, I get it.
So are you going to drive a county and a half to come get food off a food truck on a lunch break during the week type of thing?
No.
Most people aren't, So
right. I'll look at that. Yeah, I understand Facebook is a good way to market. I mean, it's probably the better market, but I kind of want to get Twitter or X or whatever it is. Especially for the cafe, like if we're sold, our goal is to be sold out of everything by the time we close.
Yeah, we had that thought too. Like, we'll do Twitter and we can live tweet when we're out of stuff. And just remember, you have to manage that through too. And once you start doing something, people are going to let you know when it's not working right.
Yeah, and there's multiple apps that you can control. If you post something to Facebook, it'll actually post it to X, but it's not as seamless yet as I think anybody wants it to be.
Sorry, back to from YouTube. Fran, would creating Facebook events garner more sales? I'll be right back on Facebook events. Chad says, or you get the constant messaging from people out of state on Facebook. If you're getting consistent messaging from people out of state, then there's something that is triggering for those to be sent outside of state. We'll get occasional ones, especially on our general Facebook page ad. But so if you have a friend, so if someone that you follow, or some, like, let's say you have a classmate from high school or whatever that you're friends with on Facebook, and they have liked your page, but let's say they live in Arizona now. So because they like your page, Facebook's going to send it to the people that they're friends with, because it's the friends of the friends. So sometimes you'll get some stuff like that. Like, we've gotten messages, I don't know why I'm seeing this ad, I'm in Texas or whatever. So
I got that. I got that with the reel I posted. It went through a lot of people, but reels are a whole nother animal. 100%. Those go to anybody. Yeah, it's just on your Facebook feed.
So I got a catering request from someone in Australia. I'm like, how the hell did you find us? I said, I'm showing you're in Australia. Is that correct? She's like, yeah, we're just outside of Melbourne. Are you available? I'm like, well, let me see what a plane ticket costs. Do you have a smoker I can borrow?
Broad, stupid mind. You never know.
Yeah. So yeah, there could be something weird in the way that you are posting, but typically that's the way it works. Friends of friends. If you have some out-of-state friends that follow your page, then you're going to get some of that stuff.
Events.
Yeah. Oh, events. Good God. I hate the way Facebook does events now for businesses. I don't know if it's just the way they've changed all their business page stuff, where it feels like there's 6 different pages that different stuff is on. I have the hardest time finding where to create events and where to manage events, and I just don't like it. I just wish it was simpler. There's too many different places to look at stuff in Facebook now for Meta business page. So
yeah,
you see difference because you can manage your page right off of Facebook, and you get different things. Like, you can, like, for hours and stuff, you have to go into a different way than from Meta Business. Like, I can't do it from Meta. I have to do it, or business, or Meta for Business or whatever. I have to do it straight off of Facebook and manage there.
Business Suite's horrible. I don't like Business Suite.
I go into Event Manager and I can't see any of my events. What events is it managing? Is it like, I don't, like, none of it makes sense, and it's just such a pain in the ass.
Or Facebook thinks my local events are in California.
Yeah. So we used to do events for every time we were set up. It became a lot to manage, because we were 200, 300 events a year. And we thought, well, shit, let's just do, for the ones that we are going back to once a month or whatever, you can do a series. So you can do one event and just create a series of dates. Mm-hmm. Well, if for whatever reason one of those dates changes or you have to cancel, you can't take it out of the series. You can't take the one date out. You have to cancel the whole event, which then cancels all those dates that people said. And then you get all the messages saying, oh, why'd you cancel this day? I said, I didn't. We're creating a new event. And it's just, it became, the way they have it set up right now is just too much. So
it's not I love to good things is what
I love the business stuff for Facebook. A lot of it, that drives me nuts and keeps me from doing it. Yeah.
So what do you feel about, sounds like we'll probably get into your goals next week. So there's a guy, there's a new, not really a new food truck. He's been doing it, I think, last year, maybe. Lately he has gotten, or what he is doing is going live. He goes live basically every day and giving money away to people that follow him.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll do a video of people. This guy went from maybe 1,000 followers to now 8,000 in 2 weeks, maybe.
Okay.
Just by giving money away.
How much money is he giving away?
$100
To any new follower?
to any no to he some videos are he partners with businesses, they give him a gift card and he hides it so people go to the business and try to find it.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is he gives out $100 of his own money, like he'll walk into a Dollar General and say, hey, we're so and so with so and so food truck, have you heard of us, do you follow us? And if they say no, then he'll try to sell them like a little burger, like a little play burger,
Mm-hmm.
and for like $1. And if they buy it, he'll give them $100. That's his marketing thing to get up to 10,000 followers. That's his goal. It's 10,000.
What's the interaction like on his videos?
Well, there is one more thing he's doing. So he's doing like point streaks, where like if you're a top follower for a certain amount of time, you'll get $100 too. So his videos they're going. I mean, there's tons of shares and tons of comments, but a lot of the comments are by the same person because they're trying to keep that streak going and be the number of points and stuff like that. So like his latest one is this person has been on an 11-week streak. They've got 737 points, which basically means I think they engaged with them 737 times. I think that's what that means within that week. I think.
Okay. He's doing this via Facebook?
Yes. And he doesn't, I mean, he gets some people that will do it. He gets other people. A lot of people are commenting, or I'm not going to say a lot. Some people are commenting based off like you're going up to random people and asking them if they know who you are without even asking if it's okay to be, filmed or anything like that. So, but as far as marketing goes, he's using other businesses. What do you think about that to gain followers? Think it's worth it?
I think it's more about gaining customers than it is about gaining followers. The gaining followers is a nice byproduct. And the way he's doing it is pretty awesome in the fact that he's probably not paying anything out of pocket. Even on the days that he's paying out $100 in cash, he's probably getting enough engagement daily,
probably
on those videos, that it's not a net negative for him. And you're talking about him right now.
True, absolutely.
So
I didn't mention his name.
Yeah, those people that can do that kind of stuff, and the food trucks that go live on TikTok or whatever, and I mean that frickin' potato guy in the UK who made like $3 million last year off of TikTok, just going live. There are plenty of ways to do that kind of stuff. You have got to be very consistent. I'm sorry, everybody. You have to be very, very consistent. And it takes a while to get there. It's not like that guy just turned on his camera on day one and all of a sudden was just breaking in money. It takes time, generally, for most people. And not a week, not 2 weeks, months, a year.
So I'm watching one of his reels. 267 shares. So do you think that will, because of that number of shares, like he will get to a point where it should increase his business?
Yeah. I mean, if I go around town, I get told all the time, "Oh, I've never heard of you guys."
I get told that. Yeah. We have many than you do.
Yeah. So the less that happens, the better, right?
True.
It's getting a name out. So the more people that see the videos, the more people see him. The more people that are going to seek out, either hoping to cash in on $100, or be a part of a video and be on the internet and be internet famous for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
People love that shit.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think doing that kind of stuff is great. You got to be super consistent with it, and you really got to break through the it's not working phase, because it's going to seem like it's not working.
Oh, and that's why I honestly, that's why I don't.
And not make sense. None of it's going to make sense.
Yeah,
Like your video, your reel from last week with the sign. Like,
made no sense.
it makes no sense what things do well and what things don't. So, yeah. I'm assuming you're talking about Skippy tried and really scared a lady with DS.
Nobody's scared of me.
All
Everybody,
right.
everybody needs a little Skippy in their life. Okay.
Goals for me for next year.
Do you need another Chris?
Do I need another Chris? No. It's hard because last year was such a, 22% or something like that. Just a dumb number we were up in sales. So it's hard to think, well, let's do that again. So my survival number for this year is going to be a 10% increase, which gets us to 450,000 in sales. So that's the number we need to hit.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
For me to think, all right, we had success this year. So 10% increase, which on average has been right where we've been, between 9 and 11 typically, if you take out the 22% year. Now, so that puts us at 450. My dream big number, 480. I think we could get to 5.
Half.
What's that?
I thought your dream big number was half. Half a million.
Half a million? Yeah, I'm trying to be realistic.
To be realistic, dream big number.
That's so. I mean, dream big. It's 480 is still huge. That's almost another 20%. 20% would give us to 493.
Yeah.
So I think everything has to go pretty much perfect for us to hit 5. Like I think we can do 5 on the truck, but we can't have any bad days. All our events have to hit. All our roadside for the most part has to hit. We can't have those $600 days type of thing. So I'm realistic in my goals. I think your goals should be achievable. So I think 480 is achievable for us. So we're going to go with that. 450 is our have to, and 480 is our goal. For catering, we did 130 last year. If we can get to 160, I'd be pretty happy. And that's with us losing 10 on the Aetna contract. Right now we're at 97 for invoiced stuff for this year. So need to do another 70.
You think the new smoker should help?
I don't know that it'll help. It'll make life easier. I don't know that it's going to attribute to more business per se. Because I still don't have enough staff to go to so many places. It's not like we're not turning down events that are too big for us. So it's a number of events. Like we can't do really more than 3 at a time. I just don't have enough people. There's 3 of us. If we all go to one event, then what are you shaking your head at me for? What have I done to disappoint you so much?
No, it's not. No. I'm trying to understand something. Maybe it's just I'm hearing you differently than what you're trying to say.
Okay.
I did 4 events in one day by myself. when you say that it's virtually impossible for you to do 3, I guess
I didn't say today. I said at a time.
I know. Hold on. If I had time to do 4 in a day, you have time to do 4 in a day. So
we have done 4 in a day.
So what I'm asking is, when you say that you don't have enough people or time or whatever that means, what type of events are you talking about? Are you talking about, like, if you have 7 people that call you and say, hey, can you drop off food at X amount of people or X amount of day, or can you drop off food here? And you get 7 of those, will you take them in one day if you don't have to take the food truck somewhere?
Absolutely. As long as they're not all, I say, I need food at 11 o'clock.
Absolutely. Completely
That's
understand.
what I'm saying. I can only do 3 at one specific time frame in the day. That's why we turn stuff down.
That's okay. Yes. Now that you explain that, now I understand what you're saying.
Exactly what I said.
I don't believe so.
At the same time, not the same day, the same specific time frame.
I can. Yes. I understand.
Yes. So yes, we've had days where we've done 5 events.
Yeah.
But we have to coordinate. We can only be in one place at a time.
So have you thought?
We do everything we can to accommodate everybody, but there is definitely days where, like, we're at capacity. Like, we can't get to more places. So especially
when we were talking last time about getting a different smoker will help your capacity, that's kind of where I would like help you do more things. That's where I was wondering, like, what you actually meant by do more things. Mm-hmm. Because your smoker right now has to have enough capacity. You just have to do a little bit different movements and shit like that.
I don't think we're really gaining much more shelf space.
No,
not a lot. Not a lot of extra cook outside of. So we're not gaining a whole lot of rack space, but I think we are gaining cooking space because of hot spots and stuff like that.
Exactly. You have more of it's more of an even heat versus bottom rack hot.
Right. But we'll still have the other smoker.
Yeah.
So here's where we get to where we can do more. And it could have been any other smoker. We needed to replace the one we have because it can't run every day again. We're gonna end up with major problems with it. But to run it one day, let's say we have the trailer at a festival for 2 days that we're there overnight. Mm-hmm. Someone can definitely hang back and, do another 6 pork butts or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or on a larger scale event is what I'm talking about. So like when we did Irish Ionia, where we were expecting a $10,000 day, mm-hmm. being able to have that ability to be able to go back and get food cooking off another smoker or something like that, or to be able to do catering while we're doing those days. That's where we're going to get some more of that leeway.
Would you think about adding a second warmer inside the trailer?
I have the other warmers. My thought would be to put it out on the porch. There's no room inside, so we add it to the porch on like those days that we're full, where we're running Cambros off the porch. Mm-hmm. Just roll one of those and attach it somehow and run an extension cord to an outlet and run it there. Like Food Truck Fridays that we do in Grand Rapids, where oftentimes that thing is full. We're running out of Cambros for a little bit.
Sure.
Mostly because of mac and cheese. Mm-hmm. We're running 16 half pans in a night, type of thing. So, yeah, I have reason to believe it's going to be a good year. Did I send you the thing that I got sent this week about the former commissary?
Yes.
Okay. Did I tell you the price on it?
No.
So it's 12,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's got to be fucking just monstrous.
It had, I think, 6 or 7 food trucks parked in it pretty regularly in the warehouse part. So that's got power and everything in the warehouse. Mm-hmm. And then 5 kitchen stations and 1 large prep station. So it's got 4 6-burner stoves in it, ovens and everything. All the equipment's included in the lease. It's only $725 a square foot, which if you go by square footage, $1 per square foot, is pretty cheap in Grand Rapids. But you can break it down to the month, and it's $7,600 a month.
Oh, what'd you just say per square foot?
$725 a square foot.
Oh, I thought you said $725 a square foot.
$7.25.
It's pretty cheap.
Josh, why wouldn't you add a burner like Skippy as you have the trailer empty now? Because I don't want one. I had burners. I don't want another burner.
Well, he was saying, I assume he's saying too, on days that you are at a festival, instead of packing your warmer with 16 pans of mac and cheese, you can make mac and cheese kind of on the fly.
I would never do that. It just takes up too much space for us to do mac and cheese on the fly. Like, I don't have the counter space to do that while we're open. This just takes us too much space.
How do you, okay, I got to ask, how do you not have the counter space when you have those, you said you put in a stainless steel table underneath the hood?
Right.
And so
while we're open, there's stuff there. We have our bags there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And, yeah.
I mean,
You've been in our trailer while we were open. I mean, counter space is used.
No, I haven't been in your trailer since you put the table in, so I don't know what you're using.
We just had stuff on top of the stove before. We had stuff sitting up there, like our plastic bags, or there's stuff. We have stuff that's on the that we use for serving people. There's just no room to put out 8 pans of noodles like while we make the cheese sauce for 2 hours. I mean, or for an hour or whatever to make the cheese sauce. Yeah, it takes up too much space, and it's just somebody else that's in the way that's not helping get food out to customers. So that, and I'm back to Ansel, and I don't have to have Ansel inside my trailer right now.
Yep.
So it's one less thing that I have to have inspected and serviced every year. So yeah, my convection burner does just fine. I will probably upgrade that at some point in time this year. Because I think if I get a better one, I'll have some better luck. But
how long? Well, never mind. Keep going.
No, go ahead.
So I finally.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
To be able to boil noodles, I don't have a cooktop. So I have had an induction cooktop for a while that I've never used. Mm-hmm. So I bought a stainless steel pan, or not pan, but a stock pot, and I used it to see how long it would take to boil water.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take for you to boil water?
22 quart pot for me is probably 40 minutes.
Okay.
40 to 45.
No, just to get boiling?
Yeah.
Okay.
So by the time noodles are done, it's an hour. So an hour for cooked noodles and then an hour to make the cheese sauce. Because we go slow and we don't rush it because burnt cheese sauce is nothing good. So.
Especially using that butter instead of margarine.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So how long did it take you to boil water?
I only put like that much water in it to see how long it would take to boil. And it was like 25 minutes. I'm like, oh boy.
It took 25 minutes for you to boil water with that much water?
Yeah.
Did you start with cold water?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I don't.
That's weird. It shouldn't take that long.
It's the second time that thing has been on. So I have to, in going through all my procedures, because I have to get procedures ready for everything and like how to do stuff that all have. Okay. I mean, there's an induction cooktop that's a commercial one. I don't even know if this is a commercial one. It was one I got off Amazon for like $50. But there's a commercial one for $50 too. So it's like,
right. Yeah, I think I got mine from Amazon, and it was probably maybe 75 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was listed as commercial, but it's all about the watts. I mean, just like anything else, there's different wattages on the burners. Yeah. So the higher the watts, the hotter it'll get, the faster it's going to cook. It's just a matter of what your trailer can hire or whatever you're plugging into can handle. So for us, with everything we got rolling in the morning, we're kicking on warming cabinets and everything else. It's like, it's kind of like the panini press. Like we couldn't run that off the outlet in the trailer. We had to run an extension cord out to the, like when we tried to do it with everything else.
Yeah.
We had to run an extension cord out to the generator to plug into a different thing because it was popping the breakers. Because they just suck up so much power. So probably the same deal. Get a higher wattage, and I could probably do better.
So mine's 1800 watts plugged into a normal outlet.
Yeah. I'm not sure what mine is. I have to look, but it definitely feels like it shouldn't take as long as it does to boil water, but it is what it is.
Well, when I was talking to the sales guy at the freaking restaurant supply store, he's like, yeah, I told somebody about this, and they can boil water in 10 minutes. I'm like, huh? The fuck? What?
You know what? And that's everything that I heard. I was like, oh, that's what I'm expecting too. So it's like,
I'm like, oh, I mean, my 80,000.
I thermal pin in every once in a while. I was like, well, we're at 180. Only another 35 degrees more to go.
Who knew that boiling water had a stall too?
Yeah. So yeah, and it takes me longer in the winter and the spring, or the fall and the spring, because of the water in the tank. It doesn't get up to 120. Like, I make sure that I'm as hot as I can go before I put it in there. And but yeah, we get to fall and it's like, well, the water heater can't keep up because the water's so cold going into it. Like, it has a hard time getting it to 123 degrees.
Speaking of your water tanks, sorry to keep going.
Yeah, no problem.
Was your water tank underneath your sink?
Yeah.
So,
fresh water?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you had to take all that out too?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. So will you put it in a different space to make it more accessible? Or to make...
I don't need to access my water tank.
No, to make under the counter more accessible. If you need to get under there for whatever reason.
Like I said, me getting the inaccessibility was, so where the wiring for the water heater was all the way to one end, which is where a refrigerator. So that door that opens doesn't open all the way.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then you have and the other problem is it's all your wastewater pipes are all right in the middle. So you can't, it's hard to finagle in, and there's just not a lot of space because there's so much. When we redo things, can we reroute some of the wastewater to maybe take up less space? Probably. And maybe we'll look at that when we're redoing the plumbing and stuff. But all the freshwater lines are all PEX lines, and they were all on the floor, on the back wall. So they didn't take up a lot of space. It was just wastewater stuff that takes up the most space. And the freshwater tank's all the way to the right. So it's not like I need to get back there. When we first started out, we kept our cleaning supplies in there. We just had like a little crate.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
With some cleaning supplies in there. But, yeah, we don't do that anymore because it kept sliding off and probably resulted in some of our leaks happening. So, Mexico has a lot higher elevation. Water boils at a lower temp.
Yeah,
Tell me to move to Mexico, or are you saying these things were built in Mexico and that's where they were tested? Yeah. Anywho, that's it. That's all I got today.
It was a good conversation today.
We had a good conversation.
Of course, I start to wave and they just, yeah, that figures. All job.
Yep. All right, everybody.
Lions playing Saturday night, 8:00.
Saturday, 8:00.
Watch
This is the matchup that I was hoping we'd have.
I was also hoping.
For multiple reasons. I'm tired of playing Minnesota, and I didn't, everything else is kind of...
I feel good for Washington. I think they're a good young team. I think they're
a good team. I don't expect the Lions to blow them out or anything. I think it's going to be a good game. I'll take a blowout, but yeah, this way, what, Minnesota's playing the Eagles? Is that right?
Minnesota. No, they play tonight first.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they play tonight. Minnesota and the Rams.
That's right. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yes.
So this way, in theory, you have two of the bigger hitters, potentially. Let's say Minnesota. You have either Minnesota or the Rams probably playing
the Eagles.
100% playing the Eagles. So you're going to get rid of one of those higher octane, hot offenses right now.
Yeah, powerhouses.
Yeah, which helps. You don't have to play all of them. So that's good.
I'd rather play anybody but the Eagles, to be honest with you, because I believe that Josh Allen made us look like dog shit with as much scrambling and running as all of them did. Mm-hmm. And with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley's a freaking. And I've really never watched him too much, and I worry run defense won't stop him.
I think they're beatable.
I'm not saying they're not.
Yeah, I mean, they don't scare me a ton. Their defense scares me more than their offense does. So,
yeah,
you're not going to stop Barkley, so you just limit him.
You know, to contain him. Absolutely.
I don't think, as of right now, I don't think Jalen Hurts beats you. I don't think it's been that kind of year for him. I don't think he beats you. Kind of like Mahomes is having kind of a weird off year. Like, I'm not scared of Patrick Mahomes just beating us type of thing. There's a lot of other parts of that team that have made up for it. I think Jalen Hurts, I think without Saquon Barkley, I think that team doesn't make the playoffs. You know? So you keep Barkley to a reasonable amount of rushing yards and attempts and maybe get out to an early lead to make them throw the ball. I think they'll be okay. Lots of mobile quarterbacks coming at them. So
go Lions.
I'm glad the game's at 8 o'clock. I'll get to watch because I'll be in Indianapolis that weekend watching my daughter do her cheer thing. So as long as she doesn't have an evening start time for either of her teams.
I'll be at our first competition of the year.
Huh? You will?
Yeah. Little rip burn.
Oh. I thought you said you're going to be at her first competition of the year.
Yeah, I'm going to be down there. I'm going to be down there supporting you guys.
Excellent.
Just being that creeper guy.
I guess. Like, whatever makes you happy, dude.
Hey, everybody needs them.
All right, everybody. Have a good week. If you got things you want us to talk about next week, shoot them our way. I imagine that we will have some more social media talk with TikTok being shut down here in 5 days, 6 days. And what does it will be shut down? What do you mean possibly?
There is a way. No, it's actually so right now. The guy who's on Shark Tank and his business partner.
Yes. Okay. Let me ask you this question.
Hold on. According to U.S. laws regarding this type of sales of stuff, obviously the Congress said if it's going to stay, it has to be sold to a U.S.-based company.
Correct, and he's willing to pay up to $20 billion.
But there's no offer on the table yet, or they have the offers. If supposedly if it comes to the 19th and they say, are there any offers on the table? Supposedly Congress can look to force a sale.
No, they can't.
And it would take 90 days.
No, they can't. They can't force a Chinese company to sell their company.
No, like if there's offers on the table, they can allow 90 days to explore the offer. If the Chinese is willing to listen to it.
Here's my question. Here's what I'm saying. Is TikTok for sale? My guess is no.
Why wouldn't it be? U.S. is going to be your biggest supporter or biggest content contributor.
But they won't have it anymore.
They're not just going to get rid of TikTok. It's going to be in other countries.
I understand. I understand how TikTok works.
So would you look to sell it to your biggest competitor because is it a national security risk? Probably not. But
I agree.
I mean, if you're the Chinese and you're a businessman, do you want to get rid of it? If you can, why wouldn't you?
Okay. Hold on. Let me do a quick search here. So why would I sell a business for $20 billion that generated $18.5 billion last year in revenue? So even if losing the US cuts that in half, I'm still net positive in 3 years. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying 20 billion is not enough. That TikTok is worth more than $20 billion.
Is it though?
Yeah. TikTok's value is estimated between $50 and $100 billion.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's going away.
Well,
Just
it's
like
not going to go away. It's just we're going to lose access to it.
Just like
It's not going to get deleted off your phones. This is what everybody else has to understand. It's not on at midnight. It's not going to be on your phone anymore. You're still going to be able to watch TikTok. What's going to happen is you're going to be able to post. What's going to happen is the app stores are going to stop updating the app, and eventually it will stop working, which is how they phase it out. So you will still be able to watch TikTok. You will still be able to upload, but it is going to go away.
I don't know if it'll go.
I've been resistant to a lot of it.
The hell else are we going to do for hours upon days? Look at Facebook videos? Come on.
This happens all the time.
No, I know.
Do you remember MySpace?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Uh-huh. Do you remember Musical.ly?
No.
Musical.ly was huge until TikTok came. There is always 10 to 15 social media apps out there that everybody's using or that somebody's using, and every once in a while it becomes the next one.
Billions? Or in the billions of revenue, though?
Well, Facebook's probably in the trillions or close to it. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
You know, let's see. Let me look. Let me see what Musical.ly was worth. Musical.ly. Jesus. So Musical.ly. So it was a lip syncing app. So it was all music. So you just lip sync to whatever you have on your phone and do the video. Okay. Was sold to ByteDance Technology Company for between $800 million and $1 billion in 2017.
Oh, and for anybody who doesn't know, ByteDance is the owner of TikTok.
Mm-hmm. When you can't beat them, buy them.
Buy the competition, absolutely.
So this happens all the time. There will be a next social media that will be the next greatest thing. So Lemon 8 is not it. If you see Lemon 8 out there as a TikTok replacement, it is not. It is awful. It's not great. It's not my choice. I've heard Neptune is expected to launch in spring, and from some beta testers, they said that it looks pretty good. Blue Sky is another one out there. There's a bunch of them. If you just go out and look for TikTok replacements, you'll find 20. And it just, what will decide this is content. Whoever gets the most content the quickest will win.
It'll turn into a political thing because the reason they're doing it on the 19th is because Trump takes office on the 20th. So,
well, that's what I was saying. With the overwhelming support from both sides of the aisle, that from Congress or whatever it went through to get to this point, besides the Supreme Court, I don't think he could get the votes to overturn it, even if he wanted to. So
I kind of feel bad for all the people that make their living on it, but I guess if they've made their living on it,
we'll talk about social media and stuff next week. But if those people are smart enough and they know enough, if they're doing this on the one platform, they're doing it on all the platforms, and they will be just fine.
YouTube,
and they are. I guarantee you, they already have their users made on all the other social media platforms.
Yes, they do.
So, and we'll get to that next week with the more marketing 102.
Look at that. You got 20 extra minutes, folks. Don't say we don't give you anything.
Yeah. So stop bitching about us being late. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.